So on May 16th, the big hyped up Overwatch 2 PvE mode was cancelled. And nobody was surprised. I quite honestly forgot the PvE mode was even in development still, because of how flippin' long it's been since we heard anything concrete about it. I almost said the F word, but YouTube is very particular about when you can swear. If you swear in the first 30 seconds, no monetization. If you swear at 31 seconds, boom, family friendly, take all the ads you want. But the PvE mode, the big hero PvE mode, the thing that was used as the selling point for Overwatch 2, as the justification for Overwatch 2 existing in the first place, it was scrapped. Apparently, we're still getting some PvE mode in the future, but it's gonna be like progressively updated, like little bits and pieces at a time, which really just makes it sound like what Activision and Infinity Ward turned the Spec Ops mode of Call of Duty into with the new Modern Warfare series, which is, I think, safe to say, a thing that literally nobody wants. But also the bigger point here is the fact that Overwatch 2 was already seen as kind of an unnecessary sequel. It was already seen as like a rather, just, I can't think of another word to use other than unnecessary, but it was all justified by the existence of this big PvE mode. And the PvE mode looked legitimately interesting because Blizzard, for all their faults, Blizzard did manage to do one thing really good with Overwatch 1, and that was to make a multiplayer-only game that had a whole bunch of interesting characters, that had some interesting lore going on. And a single-player mode expanding upon that was a great idea, and it was a very hype idea. There was a lot of hype around it.
And it's gone!
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
The thing that fucking burns my chicken the most about this is that Overwatch 2 was literally pointless now. Overwatch 2, the transition from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 was quite literally pointless now, because the whole justification for Overwatch 2 no longer exists. And before you say that the justification for Overwatch 2 was all the gameplay changes, I'm gonna fire right back at you and say, no, that's not true, because Overwatch 1 had bigger gameplay updates than Overwatch 2 did. Like, you can dislike the video if you want, so I'm like, fucking not like YouTube fucking shows dislikes anyways. I got into Overwatch in 2017, like roughly a year after the game came out, and I was fucking hooked on it up until, like, I don't know, 6 months before Overwatch 2 came out. I was a big Overwatch player, and I truly believe that there were big game-changing updates in Overwatch 1 that were more drastic than the transition from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. The people saying that Overwatch 2 is now Overwatch 1.5, no, it's literally Overwatch 1. It is literally Overwatch 1. Like, for those that didn't play Overwatch in the first few years, there used to be no role queue. There were no role restrictions. Anyone could play any character at any time. It was fucking bananas. And I would argue that the transition from open queue to role queue, structuring the game as 2 of each role at all times, I would argue that the transition from open queue to role queue was a bigger transition and had a bigger impact on the game than any of the changes that were introduced with Overwatch 2. And that was just a simple update. That was just a simple patch. Like, looking back at it now, obviously hindsight is 20/20, but like looking back at the change from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 now, you really see how hard Blizzard was grasping at straws to make this seem like a new experience when it was so obviously never intended to be. I remember when Overwatch 2 was about to come out, and I was like, oh, Overwatch 2 is coming out, I should probably uninstall Overwatch 1. If Overwatch 2 is replacing Overwatch 1, no point in having both the games installed. I'll uninstall Overwatch 1 and then download Overwatch 2, only to find out when Overwatch 2 came out, I had to re-download Overwatch 1 so I could then download the patch that turned Overwatch 1 into Overwatch 2, and even after I turned Overwatch 1 into Overwatch 2, the icon and game files still said Overwatch 1. So what was the fucking point? Literally the only thing that justified Overwatch 2's existence, and I think Mischief put it really well here, the only reason Overwatch 2 was even pushed as early as it was to change the business model and start charging people in ways that weren't chargeable before. That really was the only reason, because the PvE mode, the thing that we were told was the justification for Overwatch 2, was clearly not going to be ready for years on end, so why did they launch Overwatch 2 so early if they weren't actually going to change the gameplay that much? But also something that everyone is well aware of by now, is for years Overwatch 2 was basically just used as a way to deflect criticism or distract people from dumb shit that Blizzard was doing. Like, just off the top of my head, Blizzard tried to use Overwatch 2 news as a way to deflect from the Diablo Immortal reveal, from the Warcraft 3 Reforged fiasco, from the Hong Kong fiasco, from the 2021 discrimination lawsuits. And those are just off the top of my head. I didn't even get into the smaller, like, PR blunders that they have in between Overwatch 2's announcement and release, where they would then use Overwatch 2 news or updates to try and divert attention from the PR blunder. They constantly use Overwatch or Overwatch 2 or just Overwatch-related news as a shield from any kind of criticism. And that brings us to May 16th. Because now that Overwatch 2 is actually out, Blizzard can't use it as a way to divert people's attention away from whatever dumb shit they've been doing. So you know what they're using as a shield now? Inclusion, which is not new because this is another thing that Blizzard does constantly. Oh, and while we're talking about social media, did you know that Blizzard literally did not tweet anything about the PvE mode being canceled? Like, no post, no link, no update, nothing. They just scrapped the PvE mode and expected you to find out on your own. Which, like, super go fuck yourself, Blizzard. The whole reason that you said to bear with you and the whole reason that you said that the Overwatch 2 was justified was because of all the big changes coming. And then you didn't do that, really didn't do many big changes in the multiplayer, so all the big changes were being saved for that PvE mode, which doesn't even exist anymore, and you don't even have the decency to tell people about it on a large scale. Like, truly, what is going on at the Blizzard offices? Other than the fucking breast milk thief. But anyways, literally the same exact day that Overwatch 2's PvE was canceled, they tweeted out this. And like I said, they put way more effort and social media juice into this than they did, you know, the announcement that the thing they've been marketing for years and in a way already sold you no longer exists. Like, yeah, guys, the thing we scrapped the first Overwatch game for, the thing that we were using as justification for all our obnoxious behavior regarding the Overwatch IP, and the thing that we keep telling you that is going to come soon, so you better keep spending money on Overwatch 2 battle passes and cosmetics because we promise this thing is coming, so you gotta keep paying for it. Yeah, by the way, that's not happening anymore, but also don't get mad at us because we got some gay shit in the store now. I'm gonna cut that. Sorry, I'm just upset. I'm heated. And like, I appreciate the fact that the internet just isn't taking this shit anymore. Like, this isn't the first time Blizzard has used inclusion and social issues as a way to distract people from criticizing them, but I honestly love that nobody is buying it anymore. It's gotten so blatant that this company is just trying to push away criticism wherever they can. And I gotta tell you, Blizzard, saying you're about inclusion and acceptance and then blatantly using a minority group as a shield from criticism, that's gotta be the most offensive fucking thing you could do to these people. Because you're literally hijacking something that people care about and then hiding behind it. You're masquerading as a supporter of a certain community because you think that people in that community are stupid enough to cover for you no matter what you do as long as you make them a t-shirt. Like, how do you not see that as bigoted as fuck? And I know the word bigot gets thrown around way too easily nowadays, but literally using a minority group as a shield because you think that minority group is so shallow and simple-minded that they won't see what you're doing? Like, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like textbook bigot behavior to me. Oh, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, and it's so frustrating as a longtime Overwatch player and a longtime fan of this IP, and I love the gameplay of this game. I always end up coming back to it no matter how much it annoys me, and no matter how much Blizzard annoys me, I always end up coming back to Overwatch. I just recently came back to Overwatch. Because the game is so well made, and it feels so good to play, and the mechanics are so fun, and the community is actually really nice and really fun to talk to most of the time. And even when the community is shitting on each other, it's just funny. I love it. I love this game. So why are you punching me in the face for liking it? Why are you kicking me in the shins because I had the audacity to play the game that you made? Why are you fucking pouring hot sauce in my eyeballs because I had the fucking stupid notion to have some kind of confidence in the future of this game that is so well made? I know this video is pointless. Ultimately, this video is fucking pointless, but I couldn't help it because it amazes me that no matter how much shit Blizzard gets themselves into, no matter how deep Blizzard digs their own hole and how much they dig their own grave, they somehow keep managing to get deeper. Like, they've dug so far that not only have they found drinking water, they've made a swimming pool, they've made it big and deep enough to house whales, they've started digging trenches to other counties and making swimming pools in other counties underground that are also big enough to house whales and sharks, which need a lot of space. You know how much space, you know how much fucking space you need to house a whale or a shark? They live in open ocean, so you need a lot of fucking space if you're going to have one in captivity. And Blizzard has like 7 of them. They have like 7 whales underneath the ground because of how much they've been digging. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. I haven't eaten today. I've only had coffee. God, fuck this company. Toodles.